Hello everyone. Today I have no clue what I'm going to film. I do have a general idea, but this video is going to be kind of improv, so please give me some grace. If you've been following my channel for a while now, you know that I usually try to post every Friday at 5 p.m. It is currently a Saturday at 4:47 p.m.
Editing me update. It is now 5:25 the same Saturday, so my video is now officially a full day late.
So yeah, here's my best attempt at making a video with absolutely zero plan. Okay, before we start this video, I just wanted to say thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I really appreciate it. It's really a big dream for me. Now, let's go over what I want this video to be about. So, as many of you may know, I am a pretty devout follower of Christ, and I recently have been stepping away from secular music more, even though I love metal. You know, I got my Pantera shirt on right now, but just kind of wanted to step away from that and listen to stuff that glorifies Christ more. So I'm going to tell you about two bands, and then I'm going to teach you some riffs from the second band. So the first band that I want to mention is Stryper. Stryper is a 80s hair metal band that released their first album in 1985. I don't know much about them. I haven't really listened to them. I kind of just discovered them, listened to a few songs of theirs before I filmed this. But they're super awesome, based on what I've heard so far. Second band I want to show you is Mortification, who I'm going to be teaching you a couple riffs from today. Mortification is a death metal band that has also been Christian. All of their themes are mostly Christ-related. A lot of imagery, a lot of symbolism that is kind of hard to understand, but I really like it just because it glorifies Christ and it gives me a good alternative to the music I might normally listen to that less than glorifies Christ, let's say. Yeah, so let's get into the teaching portion of this video. I'm going to teach you what I know from Mortifications. I believe it's blood sacrifice or bathed in blood. I'll put the answer to that question right here. I don't really remember it. Basically, the song, as represented by both of the titles, is just about our salvation as a result of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Here's some riffs from that. Alright, so this intro riff, I don't really know it fully. I know how it's supposed to be played, but I just can't play it. There's some tricky harmonics in there. But here's my best attempt at the opening riff. Here we go. So that riff right there, not including the whammy dive at the end, I don't know, I wanted to throw something in there to end it off. Let's go take it super slowly. I'm going to give you up close of the fingerboard. So I messed up those harmonics, but here is how it's supposed to be played. Tutorial version. Alright, first, it's super easy riff besides the harmonics. Super easy. Open E power chord off the low E string. And then you're gonna go 1 and a 2 and a. So it's open E power chord. And then you're gonna palm mute the low E string for the and a. You're gonna do that twice. So it's 1 and a 2 and a, and then it goes 2nd fret power chord off the A string, sliding into a 3rd fret power chord off the A string, and it does that twice, it'll go 3, 3, back to 2. Bam. That's how you play that opening riff, the main motif of it. Alright, so then you get to the next part of the riff after that main motif. You're going to do the 1 and a 2 and a on the low E power chord again. And then what you're going to do is you're going to jump up to the 7th fret harmonic. Okay? You're going to come from the G string all the way down to the low E string. This is where it gets tricky. It goes, you know, the thing that I just showed you from G to low E, and then it goes A, D, A. So all together, that sounds super slowly like. And it doesn't sound tricky, super slow, but whenever you get that at the speed, it's a real pain, I promise. Then you go back to that main riff that I showed you. And then you go back to the 7th fret harmonic and you just want to hit the D string and the G string together. And I like to add a tiny little whammy bar dive along with that. So here's what that sounds like. That's not what that sounds like. Alright, here's what that sounds like. You go back and you play that intro motif a couple times. I don't remember how many times. But that is your intro. And now we move on to the chorus riff. Alright, so you're going to start with the first beat of the first thing that I showed you. Low E power chord, 1 and a. Remember that? Alright. Then you're jumping up all the way to a 7th fret power chord on the A string and sliding down to the 5th fret power chord off the A string. And then you're jumping back to the 1 and a. Here's what that sounds like. Then you jump back to that 7th fret power chord. Back to the 1 and a. After you do that, that many times, I believe it's 3 times, you go back to the thing you did in the intro riff with the 2nd fret power chord, sliding out to the 3rd fret. So let's hear that all together. Then you're going to jump to this next riff. This next riff is a little tricky. There's a lot of sliding going on. But it'll be okay. We will make it together. I believe it is after the 2nd repetition of the chorus. You do 1 bar of just open E power chord. Then you're jumping back up to that 5th fret power chord. Except it's off the E string this time. You hit that once, and then you're going to palm mute the 5th fret, and it's going to make 1 and. Then you're jumping back up to that 7th fret power chord off the A string, and you're sliding down to the 4th fret power chord on the A string. Then, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. After that slide, you're jumping back up to the 5th fret power chord, and going down chromatically 5, 4, 3. Sounds like Master Puppets a little bit. I don't know why. I'm just gonna put that together. I hope that made sense. Super slow. Watch my hands. riff doesn't occur. I think that riff only occurs in one section of the song. Alright, sorry, quick interruption. My parents just left the house, which means I can turn the volume up on my amp. Let's go. Full sending it, dude, all the way up to 10. Doesn't sound too much different, does it? Alright, where were we? Okay, yes. This is where it gets super difficult. Unless you are just a freaking freak in nature and your right hand is so freaking fast. This is where it starts getting super death metal. It's just an insane riff. I don't remember how the lead part goes. It's kind of a harmony situation between the lead and the rhythm guitars. But I can teach you the rhythm part. So, I believe it is another open E power chord for a whole bar. And then, you're gonna go on it's hits on power chords. One guitar is doing the super fast, which we will do in a second. But we gotta get these hits out of the way first. So it's on the end of 2, the end of 3, and then I believe it's the end of 2 again. It goes 3rd fret A string, 5th fret A string, back to 3rd fret A string. Those are all power chords, by the way. So it goes in some sense, and then you jump up to the 7th fret, and you do the same thing you did down here on the 2nd fret. You remember that? Now you're doing that off the 7th fret, sliding up to the 10th fret, or at the 8th fret. Here's where it gets super hard. I don't even know what kind of note this is. I think it's a 32nd note. But you're on the 7th fret at a low E string. And yeah, we're doing that now. So, freaking insanely fast 7th fret low E string. 8th fret power chord on the low E string. Back to the 7th fret. 10th fret low E string power chord. And then it jumps back up to the up off the 7th fret A string. Let me try to show that to you super slow. It's probably gonna do super out of time, but it's okay. It does that a bunch of times. Let me try that up to speed. Hold on. Anyway, that part's super difficult, and then it goes into a solo. So here's the rhythm part that goes behind the solo, because I cannot play death metal leads. Absolutely not. Never in my life will I be able to do that. Anyway, maybe I will. Hopefully I will one day. I want to be good, but I won't be able to do that today for you, man. Anyway, just back to that intro riff. And then I believe it's just a repetition of those 3 riffs all the way through the song. There's literally 3 riffs I know from that song. Yeah. So honestly, I think that's it. Alright guys, sorry for a bit of a lazy post today. Like I said earlier, I've been super busy. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe. Help me get to my next goal. Click the like button if you like the video. I think some people often forget to do that. I know I do. Yeah, thank you all for watching.